What's up, gang? SpicySnafu Facts here, and today we're getting scrimmy. I've never had to wear a helmet for work, so that may be part of the reason I actually like getting to wear my helmet. Or at least I do now that I have one that fits properly and has a real suspension system. But my new helmet came in tactical peanut butter flavor, which doesn't really work here well on indoors since everything is green pretty much all year. As cool as FDE is, it's not really great for East Texas. So I was left in a pickle, the tactical but not whispering variety, of how to make my helmet match my gear. I thought about getting a helmet cover, maybe Agilite or Team Wendy, but it was over $100 and they didn't even come in woodland camo, so I'd have to pay more for a custom helmet cover. Enter the helmet scrim and the NUTSOF tactical Canadian peanut. So if you stay tuned till the end, I've got a little quality of life tip. Hopefully it'll help make it easier. It's kind of a bonehead thing, but either way. All right, so what is scrim? Let's kind of get that out of the way because I did not know what the actual definition was. I've just heard people use it and say that's what it is. So Google defines scrim as the practice of covering a helmet with a light, open weave fabric or other materials to disrupt its shape and minimize its visibility, particularly in tactical or military settings. So scrim as a verb or as a noun still relates to covering your helmet for camouflage benefits. If you look at pictures historically, it looks like dudes have been doing this since basically people wore a helmet, and especially probably in more guerrilla warfare context instead of, your classic line infantry uniforms, picture the British or the French during the Napoleonic eras. Probably not a lot of scrim in there, but as soon as people started wearing uniforms that weren't bright red and trying to say, hey, look at me, it seems like camouflaging the helmet was a huge priority, or cephalopods. I learned that word also reading about helmet scrim. So, we got a big old nugget on top and it's got a lot of important stuff in it. Or this one big important thing that makes the meat suit continue to function. So if you think back in history, all of the natural vegetation in people's helmets, you name it, Vietnam's a good example, I guess. They were scrimming their helmet with natural vegetation. So why scrim? A big part of camouflage's purpose is to break up the silhouette, and the helmet is no different. Scrim helps break up the recognizable outline of your helmet, which a standard helmet cover won't do by itself. The helmet cover will provide places to tie down natural vegetation, however, and give you some way to manage your cables and gear on your helmet. So you may still want to invest in one. The scrim is also blocking some UV from the sun, which could be a factor in causing the helmet to degrade over time. So ballistically, that would not be good either. And I guess there's always the vibes. If it's just something you want to stand out, or you want to, you have unit SOPs where you and all your little group of dudes all have to look the same. And that, just in general is good for identifying who's who. Maybe you want to do it for that reason. Or maybe you live in Texas and the Manchu really helps keep your neck shaded and get the sun off you in the summertime. So, that in itself is a good reason. So then I was stuck at the question of, do I buy it or do I make it? And like always, I'm a cheapo and I'm trying to save money for my ammo addiction. So it seemed like I might be better off just buying a bunch of laser cut knitting and making my own scrim. Then I got to thinking of how I would attach it and run the shock cord through, cut the holes, realized I would probably do a few iterations of that until I got one I was happy with. And time is money, friend.
Time is money, friend.
So after those mental gymnastics, while I was doing some toilet scrolling on IG, I came across a company ran by some wonderful Canadians called NUTSOF. There's a lot of people out there making scrim and costs vary. You could buy one off Amazon if you want to. I've bought 4 or 5 of those and they all ripped. There's always the question of, should you buy it? Is it worth it? Is it all of those extra benefits and the durability? NUTSOF has some other products, but it seems like their scrim is kind of the flagship product, and I'm curious if that's what got them started or not. So they have a northerner and a southerner, and I'm from Texas, so you can probably imagine which one I went with. And of course, it's a NIR compliant, and it's made of 500D Cordura, so super high quality laser cut. And they have 2 options on the shape. Like I said, the southerner and the northerner. So the northerner is a maple leaf, and just gotta be honest, initially, my American pride caused me to become a little self-conscious about having a maple leaf on my head, and I ordered a southerner. So after putting it on, I realized that I was an idiot and that a natural vegetation shape, like a leaf, is probably a great idea for some helmet scrim. I was sitting here looking at my southerner and checking out Light Fighters Anonymous, super solid dude, great channel, you should check him out. And he's got a video about making a Manchu. I know there's a lot of Manchu videos out there, but I enjoyed that one. And so I ended up turning my Southerner into the Manchu helmet cover and ordering a Northerner. I actually ordered a multicam one and a woodland one so that I can match. Because, I totally don't ever really match, so I'm not really sure why I'm focusing on that. Anyway, for being such a simple concept, NUTSOF did a great job of the implementation. So the cover has a little paper with it, which has a QR code on it, and it's got a great set of instructions. They put a lot of thought into the design of the hole pattern and how it attaches to your helmet. So the hole pattern indicates where the corners are and where the front and the rear are by using different shapes. And so I've got some B-roll, I'll throw it up. But as far as putting the helmet cover on, it's a breeze. I did have to redo it when I was putting it on, doing it on camera because, I don't have that much focus on my little hamster wheel. Mounting and retention are a breeze compared to the cheaper options I've used over the past couple of years because they have these wonderful helmet tabs that will basically Velcro into the inside of your helmet. So the helmet tabs themselves, they're long enough to where they've got plenty of purchase on the Velcro and the shock cord latches around the edge of the helmet. So you really don't have any issue there. And my helmet pads stick to them, no problem. Basically, once you weave that cord through, you're just going to tie an overhand knot on the back and then kind of fit it on your helmet and adjust it. So the Velcro tabs are going to make sure it's not going anywhere, rotating while you're LARPerationally. And it's a lot tougher than the cheaper options I've had. It only ripped because I ripped it intentionally, moving my helmet light one night when I didn't weave it through there properly. So, I gotta be honest, it's held up way better than anything else I've ever used, but most of the ones I've only used are cheap. So I gotta, totally transparent there. So once you get the screw in place, all you really need to do is snip away some of that material on the shroud on the front. If you're planning on running some night vision or a GoPro or whatever, I usually run the GoPro for most of my matches and, night vision in general. So I just went ahead and tried to trim it away. Something that really helped my quality of life at nighttime was to preemptively plan out how I was going to access everything on my helmet, get some scissors and make some minimal cuts to ensure I could get to stuff like my battery pack. I could move my admin light, as far as it needed to rotate, take off my extra counterweight during the day if I forget, whatever. Watch TV with my helmet on. I got some reps to ensure it wasn't gonna, have any issues or surprises trying to get to stuff. My wife laughed at me the entire time. If you're not running a Mohawk or a pouch style cover, you shouldn't have any issues. Either way, it's always good to check it out at home. Overall, I like these things so much. I now have 3 of them, and I'm probably going to end up purchasing one of their pack scrims later on once I got some moolah. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you want to check out our Instagram page, it's @SpicySnafu. And if you're already here on YouTube, you know what to do. Do all that YouTube stuff, like, follow, subscribe. If you think this was valuable, you know what I'm saying. I really appreciate y'all for being here and watching. Thanks for your support and all you do. And until next time, stay safe. And if you can't stay safe, stay spicy.